What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today is June the 6th. Happy Thursday, everyone. I want to give you a quick pre-market update over some of the hot movers and where big money is gravitating towards today. Before we get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that said, let's get right to it. So starting off, there isn't really any data points coming out today that's going to disrupt the broader market. Rather, today is going to be more of a technical driven day and kind of piggybacking off of yesterday's positive momentum as far as rate cuts. So that could really help a lot of stocks. And on a side note, it did kind of claw its way back into the neutral territory. So it is at 45, the fear and greed index. So people's appetite for risk is slowly increasing. So again, just keep that into consideration. There was a couple big companies unveiling their earnings. Some were misses. One was Lululemon. Second so far this morning has been NIO. But yeah, it's going to be a very interesting day in both directions. Starting off with SOFI. Right now, the only PR that did come out was submitted after hours yesterday. It just says SOFI to participate in upcoming investor conference. And I believe that is actually taking place on June the 12th with Chris at 9:55 a.m. So definitely stay tuned for that. Aside from that, I've seen a lot of people saying that Anthony bought. I don't see any Form 4 unless maybe Seeking Alpha is glitching and not showing any SEC forms. But I don't know. I've seen one or two videos saying that Anthony bought. I don't know if that's delayed or whatever else. But shorts today, they were increasing yesterday a very small amount, but anticipate them to obviously be very active in SOFI, especially leading into the next couple trading days, because they definitely will not want SOFI to be above $7, as I've stated in the past. But 17.61% of the free float is being shorted, utilization 77.23, and that overall works out to be 182.9 million shares overall are being shorted. So far today, with it at $6.86, it is pulling back slightly. But just watch for this pivot point to hold or for it to either break, either or, $6.88. So right now it is slightly below that, but you never know what happens with the market. As soon as it opens, it could have a nice spike up or vice versa, a pullback. So a couple of support points to keep in mind is $6.74, and then below that is $6.65. But I definitely do not anticipate those to be hit unless there is something absolutely dramatic that does happen. NIO just had their earnings this morning. It's not necessarily the best, and it is somewhat heavily shorted for EVs, so anticipate shorts to really be active today. 11.88% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 154.65 million shares overall are being shorted. Almost $1 billion worth of shorts are out there, so very high stuff. So anticipate them to be very active, and with it right now at $4.97, it is trading between this S1 and the pivot right here. So $4.87 will be that next strong support for NIO, and then vice versa, $5.38, which kind of did get bounced off of yesterday. But that is the next strong resistance / target, but I don't anticipate, given the circumstances, that being touched. Rather, this S1 might be touched, and then dependent on if there's support levels or not, then it might potentially break below that. And that's one thing that NIO has often enough struggled with, is just institutions truly buying into it and thus making good support levels. So this is why NIO typically does have a lot of volatility, because institutions aren't really there to back it. So kind of unfortunate. Speaking of backing and institutions buying, Nvidia is up 1.15%. So this seems to be on a crazy run. It did so far pre-market have like a high of, as you can kind of see right over here, I think it was like, yeah, looks like the high of 1,250. That is absolutely insane. This seems to be a rocket that does not stop. One point to really watch for, seems to be gravitating towards it so far pre-market, is this R2. So 1,235 is going to be a strong support. So definitely watch for that to either hold or for it to break below that. But you know what? Like honestly, everyone and their dog seems to be buying Nvidia. which at the same time is fueling a lot of people tinfoil hat saying that this is a bubble and whatever else. So definitely just stay tuned for that. So this R2 either hold or break. Faraday normally is getting a lot of volume so far this morning, despite no actual news and no SEC filings, nothing along those lines, but it is up slightly. And right now, like, shorts did return about, I think it was 4 million shares yesterday. It's kind of weird because given the company's not really unveiling any earnings or like nothing, no news, nothing for investors to grasp onto, you would anticipate shorts, which obviously think that it's going to go belly up, would be doubling down more than the 8.96% of the free float. So I don't know, it's a very unique circumstance. So I think it's going to be very correlated with GameStop, and so far GameStop seems to be going up as well, pre-market. And one interesting point with GameStop today is it's going up with low volume. So it goes to show that retail is essentially driving it higher, and institutions aren't really doing all that much unless institutions are just waiting for the market to open, but still something to kind of consider. And then moving on from that, ticker NVAX Novavax. So news came out, I guess, after hours yesterday. In my opinion, I don't see this being justified whatsoever. So they're talking about, I guess, the recipe for this fall's COVID vaccine. And yeah, so I'm not really a big fan of this. So over this last 1 year, it is up 167%. In comparison to during the highs when COVID was in full force, you can kind of see it's like a small, like this is like a dead cat bounce. So I would anticipate shorts to probably increase. So 29.86% of the free float is being shorted right now, which if you kind of look at it, shorts have returned quite a lot. So at its peak so far this year, it was around 57% short interest. And so it's gone down quite a lot, but still, I feel like this might be a good short opportunity, but you guys do your own due diligence, float your boat, whatever you see fit. So on the actual chart, or I guess the technicals right now, so with it at $24.65, it is trading between this R2 and this R3. 25.35 is going to be that next strong resistance point / target, and then $20 is going to be the next strong support. So most likely this R2 will not be touched. And I don't know, given the circumstances, maybe this R3 might be touched or potentially break above that. But in my opinion, I feel like shorts are just going to be all over this company. And because this news, unless I'm missing something, isn't all that great. But what do I know, right? Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, definitely take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for a new account, throw $100 at it, and they give you 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. Kick-ass deal. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.